Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look at another one of my favourite vintage British publishers, and that is Foursquare books. So these big thick chunky Foursquare books, don't often see them around nowadays, but I've managed to get a collection of about 100 or so, which is what we're going to have a look at today. And I think they're really great with really striking Mortlemanns cover art, and they did reprint some fantastic stuff, including a huge run of Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan books, amongst other things. So anyway, that is what we're going to have a look at today. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Right then, so we begin with this Foursquare book, but this is perhaps not the Foursquare book that you were thinking of. So this one is, it's got the name Foursquare, but it's actually a John Long Foursquare thriller. And these were published by Hutchinson in the UK, and this was their sort of crime book society imprint. And there's some of their books on the back, but this is not the Foursquare that we're thinking. This one dates to, I believe, 1938. And it's the only one I've got in this series in actual fact. But it always, first pocket edition 1938. It always made me laugh because there's a little illustration in the front that someone's, some Maria Paluski drew. Dated 23rd of the 8th, 1942 it looks like. Anyway, that was the first Foursquare in paperback that I know of, and nothing of course to do with the social media network, which is now long gone. However, this is my earliest actual Foursquare book, and this one is dated 1957 there. So it's just a reprint publisher, Lansborough Publications Limited. And these Foursquare books, like a lot of series at the time, were actually numbered on the spine, so this is like number 6. And also, like a lot of these Foursquare books, it has a cover, I'll go straight up close, by Mortlemanns. So if you can see that there, focus the camera in. So Mortlemanns did a lot of the jackets for Foursquare. In fact, almost all of them seem to be Mortlemanns covers, certainly in the earlier years. And then as we go on, we'll see some new stuff introduced. But my collection of these is predominantly late 50s, early 60s copies. I've got a big run of the Foursquare Batman books. I've got all of those, and they've been featured in a separate comics video. And I've also got a big run of, in fact, all the British Foursquare Man from U.N.C.L.E. books, but once again they've been featured in another video. I have covered the Tarzan books before, but we'll just sort of whip through those. But if you are looking specifically for the Foursquare Tarzan books, I've done a whole sort of a bit more elaborate video on those, and I shall link to that in the cards up above here. So this is easily one of my favourite Foursquare books. It's The Birdman of Alcatraz, Thomas Gaddis. Absolutely beautiful cover, that one. This is Foursquare number 10, and it says it's a Foursquare true crime. They didn't really last too long doing their like little subgenres, but you've got like different colours on the spine and that. This is number 19, Plague Within, Contagion to This World. So this is a particularly nice one, and what we'll see as we go along is that I got quite a lot of these very, very cheaply at one of the London paperback shows a few years back, and they were predominantly all the non-fiction stroke war-related titles rather than the sort of crime or fiction ones. But even so, I'm still very, very pleased to have these, and I couldn't pass them down. They were so nice. They were almost unread, so I just grabbed them when I could. So there'll be a few of those. This one, not quite so sharp, number 27, The Captain from Connecticut, C.S. Forester. Now, C.S. Forester is an author I absolutely love. I've read all the Hornblower books, plus The African Queen as well. This one I haven't actually read by him, so it's one of his that I've not read, but sort of a similar book in a similar sort of period there. That's The Captain from Connecticut. This is perhaps the thickest of the earliest books. I've got number 28, Rupert Rourke, Something of Value, A Story of Kenya at Peace and at War. big, sort of heavy, thick tome, this one. Yeah, just under 500 pages. Once it was 3 and 6, so they put it up an extra shilling. Apart from that one spine crease, I would say this is probably unread. A really, really nice example of possibly quite a scarce little 4-square book. Number 46 here. This is an Axe to Grind by A.A. Fair, as we know, Erle Stanley Gardner. So this is like the sort of the purple, a crime thriller. So that was, as I said, it was like Foursquare's attempt just to differentiate the different genres on their backlist. This one's a white one, an adventure non-fiction title. And this is Virgin Island, a modern Crusoe and his wife in the glamorous tropics by Robert White. Well, there we are. And the same sort of format, the cover is reproduced on the back of these. Bury the Past, Alexander Fullerton, author of Surface, which I've actually got as a Panther, a story of espionage in post-war Germany and South Africa. This is another one of those really, really nice unread copies. Beauty, 1958 now. Now, although Mortlemanns did all these covers, what some people don't know is that I think it's the first 90 covers were re-released as a set of trading cards. The Naval War of 1812, another one by C.S. Forrester. Yeah, as a set of cigarette trading cards. This one isn't actually by Mortlemanns, of which I've got a few. I haven't got the set, but because they are quite pricey. So here's one that I've got here, and this is just a little version of the 4-square cover. This is the cover to number 76, in fact. This would have been the next one. So this would have been the cover to The Little Ark. And it just says a 4-square book obtainable from any good bookseller or newsagents. So as I said, these were popped inside packets of cigarettes, and there's 3 sets of 90, I believe, in total. Quite expensive. These are like £1 a card each, so if not a little bit more. So if you do come across them and wonder what they are, that's it, and worth picking up. The Foolish Immortals, Paul Gallico. A dramatic, exciting tale, beautifully told. The Scotsman. That was number 79. Absolutely great book, this one. I remember reading this as a kid at school, Lucky Jim. The first book by Kingsley Amis, quite a collectible hardback this. Sadly, one I don't have. I do collect Kingsley Amis, and I've got all his books in hardback bar the first 1 or 2, I believe. That's quite nice, with a little coupon inside for something. A new vacuum cleaner, look at the state of it. A real period one. I've actually had a couple of this particular book through my hands, and it's great. If you've never read Lucky Jim, there we are, 1959. If you've never read Lucky Jim, I sincerely recommend it. It's a great book, and Kingsley Amis himself is a very good writer. Number 87 now. This is the first Tarzan that we're going to see, of many. I haven't quite got them all. I'm missing maybe 1 or 2 of the Tarzans, but not many. This was the very first one, Tarzan of the Apes. As I said, I featured those on a separate video, so I won't dwell too closely on them. Number 93, The Return of Tarzan. (101). So this is a look at Montgomery, Alan Moorhead, General Montgomery, one of the great British generals, served under Churchill. 120, The Lord Have Mercy, Shelley Smith, a novel of suspense. There we are, a bit of a worn copy, this one, but as I said, I don't often come across them, so when I do, I generally pick them up. The Shades Will Not Vanish, Helen Fowler, a fine Australian spinster of a returned POW with a murderous obsession. Quite a nice jacket that as well, isn't it? Look at that. I like that one. In fact, that's actually a wraparound jacket. You don't see that very often on the 4 squares. Very nice, that one. Helen Fowler. If only all my books could be so nice. I'd love them to be such great condition. Battery from Hellfire, the dramatic fight of an Akak gun crew to bring their gun out of the desert. Gordon Lansborough. Wow. There you go. Porgy and Bess, 1, 2, 3. Love, Life and Violence on Catfish Row. Debussy Hayward, look at that. Bit of a classic book, but not one I've actually read, I have to say. Now, this is interesting. So, this book is considerably bigger than others, and I've got a few like this. So, if that's Porgy and Bess was a normal size, this is a whole half-inch wider, same height. And I really, really don't have an answer as to why that is. Still a first printing, 1959. I wonder why it was deemed necessary to make it wider, and I've got a few like that. So if anyone does actually know the reason why a few of the four squares are a bit wider than is normal, do please let me know. 138. Ice Floes and Flaming Water, the exciting and fabulous life of a Dane who lived with the Eskimos of Greenland. Nice sort of perspective cover there by Mortlemanns. And on the back. Yeah, when they're mint, not that one, but when they're mint, these four square books are really nice to look at. As far as my feet will carry me, the incredible account of a German lieutenant's 8,000-mile escape bid from the Siberian lead mines. Blimmin' heck. Well, rather him than me. 152 is Tarzan the Magnificent. Tarzan's most fantastic adventure in the land of the warrior women. Brilliant. I love the little vignettes on the back as well. I absolutely love those. In the early 70s or mid 70s, the Doctor Who books did exactly that, and I just love those as well. So this is 153, The Green Beret, the Commandos at War, Hilary St. George Saunders. Another great cover. I wish my copy was slightly better of that one, because look at that, a great jacket, isn't it? They really are outstanding, aren't they? Some of these jackets. Needs a bit of a clean, that one, but even so, very nice. That's another one which is like oversized, as is this one. 162. Famine. This is Ireland's Story, a novel of horrifying cruelty and social injustice, looking at the Irish famine. And I think we'll just stop there so I can pull the camera out a little bit further. We can get a few more in. There we are. So 164, Zeebrugge, the dramatic story of an imperishable, glorious naval action, the attempt to seal off a hornet's nest of U-boats in World War I. Barry Pitt. I can't quite make out the cover artist there. I think it might be Roger Hall on that one. Looks like quite a dramatic sort of seascape, doesn't it? And this is another one. You can see them. They do stand out a mile, don't they? These sort of non-fiction war ones that I picked up in that collection of really nice war titles. 168, Tarzan at the Earth's Core. In fact, a lot of the Tarzan books I did actually get quite reasonably priced from an original sort of owner collection who put a run together. 174, many years ago. Insurrection, the Irish revolt against the British rule, the drama of the Easter Rising. Liam O'Flaherty. Bit of a, not a great copy of that particular one, big X on the back, but it'll do for now. Company Q, a novel of the punishment battalions of the American Civil War. Wow. Mortlemanns jacket on that one, Company Q. '83, The Son of Tarzan. And they must have done so well since Foursquare ended up publishing everything of Edgar Rice Burroughs. Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar. Another really great Great jacket there, lots of action going on. Brilliant, that elephant, isn't it? Sadly, no little vignette on the back of that one, which is a shame. 185, Tarzan the Untamed. A Foursquare Adventure. Great, aren't they, those? 186, these are all in a run. Tarzan and the Ant-Men. Tarzan in the Strange World of Stone Age Savages and Knee-High Warriors. Yep. (189) Roger Casement. Casement was caught landing from a German U-boat, tried for treason and hanged. His notorious diaries are debated here. Well, there you go. What did he do? I may never know, since I'm not going to read it today. Blood on the Sea, Vicky Balm. 192. She wrote some books for Pan as well, I believe. Blood on the Sea. This is a nice one. And the first time I saw this one, although it's a Mortlemanns cover, I thought of the Panther book Man Overboard, which has got a chap doing just that, sort of with his arms out, which was a PEF cover. And I'm just wondering if Mortlemanns pinched it. But 1960, that one, a really nice copy of that, D-Day, the story of D-Day. 211. The World in the Evening, Christopher Isherwood. Now, the actual style of these, the design is starting to change now. So we are still in 1960, but the style of the Foursquare books is ever so slightly starting to change. 221. Nice crime one here. Dorothy Sayers, In the Teeth of the Evidence. The best of Dorothy Sayers' short story detection. I do love a short story, absolutely. Real established crime author. You don't hear a lot of her today, but back in the day, paperback collectors have heard her because she's published by all the main publishers. The 85 Days, R.W. Thompson. The battle that might have brought victory to Europe in 1944. And that is a photo cover. That's the first of those we've seen. And a photo that, it's hard to tell. It looks like it is a photo back cover as well. Once again, this is from that same collection. Literally, these are just mint. This is exactly how it would have been on the shelf. That one, just incredible. I just wish I bought some more because there was others in the collection. They were all the same sort of price, like £2, £3 a book for mint unread copies. And what I regret was the same dealer had a load of unread westerns, and I didn't really know a lot about the genre at the time, so I didn't really know what I was picking up. Else I could have perhaps found a few western bargains there, but not to worry. Road to the Coast, John Harris. J. Pollock did the cover of this one. Don't know much about that. That's a beaten up old one. And this is another Tarzan, number 240, The Beasts of Tarzan. Mortlemanns doing all the Tarzan jackets by the look of it. 243, Look Back in Anger by John Burke, highly prolific around this sort of time. And this one, this was based on the play that became the Richard Burton movie. There he is, Richard Burton there. So, yeah, Look Back in Anger. 244, Sex and the Adolescents. This is one of those slightly offbeat ones that you would only ever pick up if you collected the publisher rather than for its subject matter. But yeah, this is a early one in the Foursquare series. This one, 251, Blitz on Britain. I've had a couple of copies of this one, Wing Commander Asher Lee. If I've had two copies, it's probably common. Great look at that on the back. This is another one which is a bit thicker and wider, 262. First Overlord. first overland, Tim Slessor. Overland from London to Singapore in 2 Land Rovers, as seen on TV. There we are. It reminds me of the series with Charlie Borman and Ewan McGregor. What was that called? Long Way Round. They sort of did something similar, but they were on motorbikes, weren't they? Followed by Land Rovers. 270, Shirley Ann Grau. The Hard Blue Sky. Mortlemanns again. All of these ones now, I think, are just ones that I've been lucky and just sort of picked up in my travels. 276, Ben Hesh. Theirs was the strangest love triangle of them all. The sensationalists. His wife and his mistress. A love triangle. Dear oh dear. 284, Tarzan's Jungle Tales. Edgar Rice Burroughs there. Man of War. Francois Ponfier. Their profession, war, death, their destiny, fated to clash in deadly combat. There we are. Cool stuff. That was 294. 299, definitely one of my favourite early Foursquares, and it's Starship Troopers. Took me a while to find the Foursquare edition. I think I've got the first of it now. It was definitely reprinted because I had that for a long time. Yeah, in fact, this is the reprint. Published in Foursquare in 1961. This is the reprint also from 1961, but it's not the first Foursquare, but it was by far the better copy of the two that I've had through my hands. Still a great novel today, that, by Robert Heinlein, one of my favourite sci-fi authors. Now I'm going to pause it one last time so we've got room to look at the very last lot. Okay, so this is the last run now. So this is number 303. And my sort of run of, when I found these at shows and that, I've generally not bothered to pick them up past number 300 unless they were for a particular series, like, The Old Man from U.N.C.L.'s and comic book related stuff that I've been collecting. However, that's not to say that there's not interesting stuff in here, but there's just not that much of it. Frank Yerby, The Serpent and the Staff here. This is 321. 336, the follow-up to Lucky Jim, I Like It Here, by Kingsley Amis. Very much of its time, isn't it, that design and that. .339, Tarzan Triumphant. Another nice cover. HM Destroyers, Lieutenant Commander Kemp, retired. 346. This is the first one with the new logo, 380. Tarzan and the Leopard Men. So, let's see when that year was. Not a great copy, that one. 1961. So about 4 years into the publisher's history now. 618. There's a big jump there. The Longest Day. Cornelius Ryan. There he is. Once again, a common book this, but I think the first is very, very difficult to find. Yeah, this is a reprint. It was reprinted so many times. The first is quite tough, which I haven't got. 629. Tiara Tahiti. Now filmed. Starring James Mason and John Mills. There we are, like Geoffrey Cottrell. There it is on the back there. Herbert Lom as well. One of my favourite authors, as you know, John Wyndham. This is Jizzle, fabulous stories by the brilliant author of Day of the Triffids. This one, I believe, must have been published around the time of the first Triffids movie. This is 1962, so I think it was around that time. The first really awful Triffids movie, where their solution to the Triffid problem was to leave them all Pied Piper style into the sea, I think it was. Blimmin' awful. Susan York, Pool Deluxe. This is number 741. I've had this one for years. It turned up in a little collection of sort of like softcore sleaze titles. It's absolutely mint unread, and ended up keeping it in my Foursquare collection. 1962, this one. Look at this. It's really like almost fine, you could say, that one. 775, a nice crime one here. Dorothy Sayers. Whose Body? Peter Wimsey, Lord Peter Wimsey. And The Stranger's Corpse in the Bath. Oh dear, what a way to go, eh? Makes you clean, I suppose. Pierre Boulle, author of The Bridge on the River Kwai and also Monkey Planet, Planet of the Apes. This is his number 850. This is For a Noble Cause. Another Tarzan, 993. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. Another one here, 971. Tarzan and the Lost Empire. Never read the Tarzan books. I recommend them. They're great. Another great Dorothy Sayers. This one actually in quite nice condition. This one, Unnatural Death. Lord Peter Wimsey again. Seeks a murderer without a motive. 996. Tarzan and the Foreign Legion. Really good Tarzan one. I've actually enjoyed that one quite recently. Another best-selling author, Howell Robbins, 1045. An explosive novel that turns the movie business inside out. I'm going to slip those just over there. Now this one's in B format. I've only got a few of these 60s ones, but I'm just going to zip through them. So this is 1537. I don't think this is quite in spot, but it's just like a B format golf book. Here we are, back to the run again. So 1107, From Other Worlds, sci-fi anthology, which I love. August Derleth. I do like sci-fi anthologies, I have to say. However, someone has dared to turn that corner over. 1112, Pamela Moore, Chocolates for Breakfast. So these are really like offbeat, sort of early to me, 1964, this one. Really like odd sort of titles which have just fallen into the collection for one reason or another, and they've not been too bad condition, so I've generally kept them. 1181, Tarzan and the Forbidden City. Cool stuff. Tarzan and the Madman, 1422. (1552), Tarzan and the Castaways. Once again, what year are we looking at now? 1966. As I said, at this point we'd be throwing in all the Man from U.N.C.L.E.'s and Batman stuff, so they're in other videos. 1575. Vathek, William Beckford. Looks a bit like Rasputin, doesn't he? This is funny. 1602, The Party Giver's Book by Mary Galati. The Secret of Successful Parties. Look at the size of it. I mean, you've got to take a course on throwing a party. You've got to laugh. First Foursquare edition, September 1966. So in 1966, if you were hosting a party, look what you had to read. I mean, to say that's daunting, I mean, really, and just incredible. Honestly, I wouldn't hold the party if I had to read that just to hold one. 1726, Carson of Venus. More Edgar Rice Burroughs. And just a couple more. Another one, 1746, Lana of Gathol with John Carter. These are first time in paperback. And the very last one we got is a Shel Scott story by Richard S. Prather. An original, not available in any other edition. These have got their fans, of course. And as you can see on the back of this, so it's got published by the New English Library Limited, Foursquare. So at this point, around this point, they then jump over into the New English Library, and they went on to publish, well, all manner of stuff, didn't they? Some fantastic books in the New English Library. I've got quite a collection of those, and you know, we'll look at them in another video. So there we are. What an eclectic selection of Foursquare books. I hope you have enjoyed looking through my little run of them. As I said, I don't have hundreds by any means. It's just one of those funny publishers that I like to pick up when I see them, but I don't go out of my way to try and get every single one or anything. But when I do find them, I do really actually enjoy them. I think the covers are very, very good. So there we are. That's it for today. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it a thumbs up. Do please consider subscribing for regular vintage paperback videos. I've got loads on the channel. I've got loads more still to come, and I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.